Good afternoon. Hello. Hi. Hi. It's Saturday, I think. Okay, it's Saturday. Full disclosure, I have no idea what's actually happening today. So this could be a fairly long stream, or I could be cut short any minute. So next door neighbour's 60th today, and I'm assuming they're going to be sort of back and forth for this, that, and the other. So I'm going to see where we get. I want to get a little bit more done. Like I say, I would like to get this game finished so I can start on the Dreamlight Valley updates. Not getting Rift in time yet, but yeah. So let's go do the game. See where we can get. See what happens. Okay, so I left from the kitchen, didn't I? Okay, so I wanted to go to no, Vitamin Square. That was where I was meant to be going. Okay, let's continue where we were. The old guy's not here anymore. And I still have some unanswered questions for him. Okay, so let's do a little bit of examining then. So we've got what is this scooter? A scooter, huh? Who'd leave it right in the middle of a park like this? Good question. The wheel guard and the light are busted. I guess it must have been an accident. It's totally wrecked. Oh. Uh-huh. Whoa. Hey, who do you think is doing with my bike? Whoa, okay, no, I was just... You've been messing with my new ride? Is that what you've been doing? Okay. You's gonna pay for this. It wasn't me, I was just... Okay. So, then who's the one who's covered my saddle in crap? Huh? He's gonna pay. You catch my drift? Uh-huh. No, wait a sec, I'm not a pigeon, so I couldn't have done it. Oh, wise guy, eh? I ought to beat you so hard it'll feel like you were smooching the express train. I'm assuming this is some sort of weird Boston accent, so you better watch your back, this ain't over. I'm gonna round you... Oh god, I'm gonna round up a group of lawyers and then you's gonna pay. Okay. Actually, I'm a lawyer myself. What do you say? I'm Phoenix Wright. It's attorney. This guy's... Okay. Phoenix Wright. You saying you, Phoenix Wright? It's like the original Tiger King guy. Yeah, I am. So you're a wise guy too, huh? Because I'm Phoenix Wright. The one and only. What? Out of my way. I got a cruise. What? There's no way people thought he was me. That's just ridiculous. He's gone. Surely that guy wasn't my phony. Was he? He wasn't anything like me. That was what I said, Phoenix. I'm on your side. Guess I better make note of the scooter. Yeah. Good idea. Pathetic. Oh, it's you. A few threats from a little brat like that. And you look like a pigeon that's got seeds in his eyes. Have you been here the whole time then? I was in that strawberry. I had some thinking to do. More like you had some cowering to do. Okay. So, are you going to talk to me this time? Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you about Maggie Bird? I don't know any Maggie Bird. Yes, you do. You know, the waitress at Trebien? If you ask me, it's a disgrace. That's what it is. An innocent young girl revealing herself like that. So you don't like that kind of thing, then? What are you trying to say about me, boy? Explain yourself. Nothing. I'm not saying anything about you. I know your kind. You young ones with your spiky hair and your fancy suits. That head of yours is overflowing with filthy ideas. I know someone who needs to learn some stress management. Get out of here, you young brat. Okay, do you go to Trebian a lot? That miserable excuse for a restaurant? The garbage they serve in there is not food. Where's the sushi, the tempura, the rice? Trebian is a French restaurant, sir? Where do you think we are, boy? In Paris? I want real food, not those snooty snacks. And what about those shameless girls? You mean the waitresses? You can see all the way up to yes, the waitresses. They're practically naked. It's a disgrace, isn't it? Well, isn't it? Listen, it's not my restaurant. Yeah, it's a miserable excuse for a restaurant, that place. Miserable. He certainly knows the place. He must be a regular. But if he hates it so much, why does he keep going? Okay. Are you a regular at that restaurant, sir? It's just that if you dislike it so much, why would you keep going there? So, there you are, you filthy pigeons. You want food? Take that. Okay, so we've got some sidewalks. Excellent. I knew it. This old guy has got something to hide. What could it be? Okay. So, the next place to go then is Criminal Affairs. I can never find my way there. So I'll speak to Gumshoe. Hey, you're just in time. What is it, Detective Gumshoe? The lab got back to me about that newspaper you gave me. Excellent news. You must mean the sports paper with the memo scribbled on it. Thanks for the reminder. So, what did they say? Did the analysis turn up anything? They said the doodle was written by the victim, Glenn Elk. No doubt about it. I expected as much. The victim took the paper with him to the restaurant on the day of the murder. Okay. That's our best interpretation of the facts at this moment. Okay, so we've got the paper back. MC Bomber. I get the feeling I've heard that name somewhere before. Oh well. Guess it'll come back to me. Don't forget to report back to me with whatever you find in the restaurant. Okay, pal? Since when did I start taking orders from Gumshoe? Although, I get the feeling there's something I need to show him. The bottle, maybe? That we found in the restaurant? How about that? You got one of those aroma bottles too, huh? Only this one doesn't smell. Huh? I don't get you. This was mixed in with all the other aromatherapy bottles, but it's not the same. Doesn't even look the same. Wouldn't you agree? A cologne bottle that doesn't smell, huh? Smells like a skunk to me, pal. Mind letting me borrow that bottle for a while? I want to send it to the lab for analysis. The victim was poisoned, so the contents of this bottle are pretty important. Okay, so we've given him the small bottle. I had a hunch there was something funny about that chef. You suspect Jean is it Jean or Jean or Jean? Jean? Jean Armstrong? I've got that guy's number. I know what his secret is. Do you, though? Do you? That must be the same secret Gumshoe was talking about before. I guess I better fill you in on the details. About this Armstrong guy's secret, I mean, sure, carry on. It's my all-important badge. Okay, so does that mean we've got something else? Okay, we've got something else to talk to you about. So what's Mr. Armstrong's secret? You ever had lunch at Trebien, pal? Yes. So how was it? To put it nicely, it was inedible. Hey, don't worry about being nice around me, pal. You and I both know the reason that place is so empty is because of the food. I mean, the place is clean, and he's got a girl like Maggie as a waitress, so yeah, I guess it's probably the food. The real scoop on the guy is he's up to his ears in debt. Really? How much does he owe? This is a copy of his loan contract. He's about $500,000 in the red. Whoa. $500,000? Are we talking dollars? Yeah. Hey, if it was sterling, he'd really be in trouble. Sorry, that figure just took me by surprise. As if $500,000 isn't really being in trouble. Yeah, this case is full of surprises. And I'd be willing to bet that Chef's got something to do with most of them. That's my hunch. Tender Lender. I love it. That's my new favourite place. Tender Lender. Okay. Sure. Okay, so... where should we go? Should we go and try and break some sidewalks? I think that might be the best place to go. Okay, so let's go through the detention centre to Trebien to the Vitamin Square, and let's see if we can. Let's see if we've got anything that we can use to break these. Trebien regular. It's time you told me the truth. Why are you a regular at the restaurant you dislike so much? Isn't it obvious? People only have one reason to go to restaurants: to eat. Yeah, but the food's inedible, so... to eat? Is that the whole truth? What do you mean? I don't think you go to that restaurant for the food at all. You insolent brat. How dare you accuse me? What proof have you got? I can tell that not you nor anyone else in the world would go to that place for its food. Because the food is bad. The proof is in the pudding. Or in this case, the lunch menu. That's the twin tea set. The food at Trebien is terrible. And expensive. You're wrong. It's cheap. I'm rich. I inherited money when I was a boy. Yes, I'm stinking rich. I haven't done a jot of work since I was born, other than feeding the pigeons. What a load of crock. The taste's another story, but the price, it's nothing to me. So you're saying that you go there because you've got money to burn? Exactly. I have so much cash I go for a swim in my money vault every day. Alright, Scrooge McDuck. Calm down. Unfortunately, that's a lie. What? You don't have money to burn. You're flat broke. He'd got the job listings thrown away by the old man, so he must have been looking for a job. Why would he be looking for a job if he's rich? This is yours, right? My magazine. Why would a rich retiree be looking for a job? So what? Okay, one down. So I was looking for a job. I'm buying a lot at the moment. I need spending money. Oh? I don't go to that restaurant for food. I just go for the Javachino? Yeah, I think you mean a cappuccino. Anyway, how much does a cappuccino cost there? $8. Starbucks? Those had better be some golden beans. What's your problem? You think a poor man would be better off drinking dishwater, do you? Is that it? No, I wasn't thinking that. I was wondering if the coffee there is really that great. No, it's not, but anyway, yes, that place has free newspapers to read every day. Newspapers? Exactly. They don't want me hanging around at home, so I go there. I'm sorry, sir, but there are no free papers to read at Trebian. The only paper is this one. Maybe. Take a look at this. What is it? It's a newspaper I found behind the magazine rack at Trebian. So, what of it? This was the only paper there, and it's dated more than 1 month ago. What? Do you see what I'm getting at here? That paper does... Nope, that restaurant doesn't get newspapers. Oh yeah, he told us as much, didn't he? This is just one that a customer happened to leave behind. Ah. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. Tell me, why are you so determined to hide the truth? I'm not hiding anything. I think that lock there says otherwise. I'm going to have to put this guy out of his misery. Listen. The real reason why you go so much to Trebian is to perv on Maggie? What are you asking me about that girl for? She was a waitress, or the waitress, at Trebian. Ah. Therefore, the answer to the mystery of why an old man would drink expensive coffee at a terrible restaurant is the waitress. Ah. But I don't recognise that face. And you are probably telling the truth here. Because you weren't looking at the girl's face, but at her outfit. That's the truth, isn't it? You became a regular at the restaurant because of the waitress's uniform. That uniform is all you can think about, isn't it? I can't take it. To you, that waitress was your... Enough, please. No more. Stop saying that word. Stop saying waitress. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay, now we can ask him about being a Trebian regular. Sir, yes, it's true. I was there for the young girl. Fine, so I'm a dirty, wicked, sinful old devil. No, I didn't mean it like that. I even get one of those lousy cups of Javicino every time for $8. All because of the serving girl. Punish me, lock me up. Okay. Really, that's not what I'm here for. You'll be the same another 20 years and you'll understand what it's like. You'll know how painful it is to be an old man like me. No, really. Listen, sir. Stop calling me that. I have a name, you know, boy. So show some respect. I'm Victor Kudo. Sorry, Mr. Kudo. You young ones think you know it all, don't you? Well, I'm not saying another word. I won't tell you anything more. Okay, this guy was in the restaurant at the time of the incident, which means I have to hear his testimony one way or another. I don't believe this. I even broke his cyclox and everything. I guess I'll have to try and get him when he's in a better mood. Okay then, so... do we take Maya? Seeing as she's now in that. Let's go to Trebian. Let's ask her if she'll come and see this pervert we've made. Oh, about this. Press the wrong button. Okay. Oh, it's that old man. Is he still feeding the pigeons? Yeah. He fed me as well. I got a bunch of those seeds in my eyes. Oh, ouch. Hey, Maya, would you mind coming with me for a while? Huh? Me? Why? There's something I really want to ask that old man. Sure, okay, I'll just get changed. Nope. Hang on. Can you go like that? I guess. Yeah, we're going to use old man to our advantage. Sir? You again? Well, I see. Nick, his eyes are burning into me. It's okay. I think it's going pretty well. Cat. Huh? You're still just a little child. Run along and play on the slide, alright? Play on the slide? We were so close. Just a little more and he would have spilled. Pigeon. How can we crack this guy? Excuse me, please, sir. Quiet. Can't you see I'm feeding the... Nia? Well, if you don't mind, sir, I'd really love to talk with you. Yes. Of course. Certainly. I'm Victor Kudo. Even from beyond the grave. Wow. Okay, does that mean we can actually get some sense about the incident? You mean the man who died after drinking the Javicino? It's like he's a different person. It was quite a shock, even for me. He was a strange-looking boy. The girl took the Javicino over to him, you see. And was the customer alone? Definitely. He was the only person at the table. Then he took one sip of his Javicino and he said something like, and then collapsed, dead. Oh, how terrifying. You're so good at listening, aren't you? I'll tell you anything, whatever you want to know. He certainly seems to be telling the truth now. Well, it looks like Mr. Kudo didn't see the other man either. Okay. Do you like the food at Trevian? Well, of course. I'm really quite a sophisticated man. I was a young businessman once, you know. I set up a casino in London. Really? How interesting. Eating the food at that restaurant really takes me back to my days in France. Oh, what a lovely story. London is in England, not France. Oh yes, France is wonderful. I'd love to show you around the city sometime. It's too much. I can't take it. I want France. I can't believe Mia's laughing at the guy. You visit Trevian a lot, don't you? Of course. I mean, yes. I'd like to come and see you there. Really? Oh, you flatter me so. The owner would be delighted to welcome you, I'm sure. Be careful of that chef, my dear. The chef? You mean Mr. Armstrong? That's right. The man's an ex-con. He's an ex-con? What is he an ex-con for? Whatever did Mr. Armstrong do? Oh, no. Those eyes, I can't take this. Mia's really got this guy eating out of her hand. He steals things from his customers. From his customers? Gloves, handkerchiefs, little things mainly. He's a pilferer, so you be careful around him, my dear. Oh, that's how he took my Magatama then. Are you sure about this? Of course. He was arrested for it once. I was there when it happened, having my Javicino. He really is a regular. Let me write you a little haiku about it. A haiku? A Japanese poem. It'll explain all you need to know about that chef. Convicted before wicked man or woman, repeat offender. Okay. If he takes anything again, you let me know. If it's not too expensive, I'll buy you a replacement. Poor guy. He didn't do enough for Mia. Okay, Phoenix. That's about as much as I can do to help. Thanks, Mia. We got some really important information thanks to you. Honestly, I can't believe Maya called me for something like this. I can, to be honest. Okay, let's go back to Trevian. Let's see if we can break this guy's Cyclops. Okay. I guess it's about time to wrap up today's investigation. Had enough of being a waitress? Yeah. Plus, no one came to the restaurant. La la, Mademoiselle Maya. No. How can you leave me like this? I'm sorry. That reminds me. You have some Cyclops. Mr. Armstrong had a Cyclops or 3, didn't he? Sure did. I'm gonna have to break those. Mr. Armstrong, I hope you won't mind, but I'd like to have another word with you. Volunteers. Of course. Okay, let's present the Magatama then. Take that! Maggie's motive. Okay. Oh, what is happening? I do not like this horrible feeling. Oh, I have to know the truth. What happened that day? Alors, I will confess everything. Just don't hurt me. Huh? Well, that was a new world record. It was a lottery ticket. A lottery ticket? The man who died here had a lottery ticket. For $500,000. $500,000? Oui. But after the incident, this ticket... Oh, $500,000. The same amount you're in debt for, huh? It disappeared. The ticket disappeared, huh? This was the motive that the prosecution gave for Maggie. She said that she poisoned a man to get the $500,000 lottery ticket. Okay. Why didn't you tell me about this sooner? May, Allah. You've been trying to hide this information about the lottery ticket from me. And I want to know the reason why. Nonsense. You doubt me, but I have confessed to you everything I know. Mr. Armstrong, the $500,000 lottery ticket. I think I know who took it. I think the winning ticket was stolen by you. Hashtag. Mr. I'm $500,000 in debt. Take that! Mr. Armstrong, I believe there is very high probability that it was you. Wow, that is one piercing scream, even for a man like him. Mais pourquoi moi? Pourquoi moi? Why, you have no evidence. I am not Master Mask. I am not the kind of person who steals the property of others. Sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Armstrong, but I have evidence to the contrary. I present to you proof that you have stolen from others in the past. You stole my Magatama, dude. Take that! Oui, perhaps duck would be nice. A terrine, maybe? Sorry? I was just thinking about my lunch menu. Terrine de canard. What do you think? That sounds lovely. Alors, au revoir, monsieur. Must go and buy the ingredients. I guess my evidence is a bit of a lame duck. I'm not Master Mask. I'm not the person. Okay. Victor's note. Then that's the only other thing I've got that says anything about him being. Take that! Is that? What is this? A poem? Oh, monsieur. You know me so well. I adore poems. Please read it and put some feeling into it. Convicted before a wicked man or woman. Repeat offender. Repeat offender indeed. I'm sorry to have to bring it up, Mr. Armstrong. But you have been arrested for stealing from your customers before, haven't you? Menzon? You are the liar. You deny it? Do not make la false accusation, s'il vous plaît. So do you have any proof? I want to see la incontestable proof that I have ever stolen from one of my customers. You stole from me? Seems old habits die hard, Mr. Armstrong. What is that? This is my Magatama, and I found it in your kitchen. Oh. Wow, that scream just about broke some windows. Oui. I have a weakness for little trinkets and figurines. And it just slips out. I cannot stop it. You've stolen handkerchiefs, gloves, and other things from your customers, right? Oui, it is la truth. I am just a timid little girl inside, monsieur, a timid little girl. Besides, this time, it was not a small trinket, oui? It was $500,000. Why would I steal it? I have no need for such money. Really now? Oh, monsieur, what is it? Isn't it true that you're in some pretty serious trouble? And that you're in desperate need of a large amount of cash? Where is that contract? This restaurant is deep in the red, isn't it? Ah. You have a loan to the tune of $500,000. That lottery ticket would have wiped out your debts. Well, Mr. Armstrong, what do you have to say for yourself now? Okay. We did it. I got my, Okay, Maggie's motive. Mr. Armstrong, you said that the victim had a winning lottery ticket for $500,000. How did you know he had something like that in the first place? The man. He was listening to the radio with his earpiece. Maggie said something about that too. The winning number was announced on the news, I think. All of a sudden, he exploded. Yes, $500,000, he shouted. And the ticket? Oui, he had all of his tickets spread out on the table. I was so desperately in need of money, so I put the poison in his coffee. No, you naughty man. I simply helped myself to one of his tickets. What? The victim collapsed and Maggie passed out. I thought to myself, pourquoi? He had so many of them. Yeah, but only one of them was the winning ticket, right? How could you do that, Mr. Armstrong? Maggie was arrested because of you. No, this is not true. I did not take it. The ticket for $500,000, I mean. But you just told us you did. You said you took a ticket. Hey, none. It was not. That's enough. Huh? Mr. Goddo, what in the heck are you doing here? This is without a doubt the worst coffee I've ever tasted, Mr. Armstrong. He came in here for coffee. Does his craving for coffee know no bounds? Perhaps Mr. Armstrong stole one of the victim's tickets on the day in question. I am la airhead, no. I'm just a pretty little girl who everyone is laughing at. But in that case, Maggie shouldn't be the only one. Why is it reading this just makes me yawn so much? I don't get it. But in that case, Maggie shouldn't be the only one under suspicion. It's true. She shouldn't. He had the wrong ticket. What? Mr. Armstrong made off with the winning ticket's pretty neighbour. So, the ticket he took was worthless. Not quite. He did win something. $1. Oh, $1. You see, I am just a pretty face. Without my looks, I have nothing. Oh, so? What happened to the winning ticket then? The one he meant to steal. Indeed, what did happen to it? I don't like spoiling myself by watching trailers, so we'll just wait and see how the movie turns out tomorrow, won't we? Voila, you two. Time to laugh at the pretty little hairhead. It looks like I won't be needing this note anymore. Yeah, but just because he picked up the wrong ticket doesn't mean to say he didn't do the murdering, surely? Looks like we've got a new mystery now. Namely, where did the winning ticket go? I've got a bad feeling about this. Well, anyway. We can't let Maggie suffer any longer for this. And certainly not again. Okay. We do it for Maggie. Okay, let's save there. And then let's go to the trial. Let's go see what's happening over here. Okay. Oh, I see. I guess I should have expected this. Nobody saw the other guy, huh? But he was there when I took the coffee over, sir. Scout's honour. Maggie. Detective Gumshoe. Are you doing alright? How are you feeling? As if you need to ask either question, sir. Don't let him get you down, Maggie. And don't forget to eat well, okay? Roger. And you? Yes? You'd better square this case away. You got it, pal? Maggie's innocent. You hear? If you screw up, then I'll be doing some squaring away myself. Squaring away some paperwork for your arrest. I think he's serious. Hey, detective. You're on our side for once, right? Yep. So you'll be able to help Maggie out, right? Really? Can you, sir? Of course. I've got the situation under control. I'm going to be the first witness on the stand today. If something I say doesn't mesh with the facts, make sure you point it out, alright? Sure. Okay, we're forming a united front today, pal. You get me? Uh-huh. No problem, no problem. I can't tell you how grateful I am, sir. I've always admired you so much, detective. I know I can count on you. Looks like it should all go pretty smoothly today, huh? I can only wish. Okay, let's get in the courtroom then. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. Again. The defence is ready, Your Honour. Bitter. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honour. What's wrong? Nothing. It's just whenever I addressed you in the previous trial, your response was... You was talking to me? It was a little, well, intimidating. No, that wasn't me. That was the phony Phoenix. I see. So our trusty Phoenix Wright is back with us now, is he? Our trusty. So, Mr. Goddo, your opening statement, please. Mr. Trite, whether you're a fake or the real deal, we will find out soon enough through this trial today. But I can already tell you, I'm the real Phoenix Wright. I wasn't questioning whether you were Phoenix Wright or not. I was questioning whether you had... Excuse me. I was questioning whether you had studied law or not. Okay, that's what I intend to find out. Interesting. There's no denying it. Behind that mask is a man who really hates me for some reason or another. Are we going to find out who he is? As everyone is aware, the court has already given its verdict on this case once. Therefore, I won't stand for irrelevant testimony during this retrial, nor will I stand for a simple repetition of the evidence presented in the last trial. I'm not planning on repeating anything that phony me said, trust me. Now then, Mr. Godot, please summon your first witness. Let's start with the formalities, shall we? Name and occupation. Witness, state your name for the court. Oh, sorry, sir. The name's Police Department Detective. Occupation, Dick Gumshoe. He's having a bad day, isn't he? Other way around, Detective. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I'm the officer in charge of this case since yesterday, sir. Since yesterday? Yeah. The guy who was on the initial investigation's tied up with another case now. I hope Gumshoe's really got everything under control, for everyone's sake. I see. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you outline for the court the basic facts of this case? Yes, sir. The victim's name was Glenn Elg. He was a professional programmer. He was on the payroll of Blue Screens Inc., a local company. This is the victim's autopsy report. The court accepts this into evidence. And here are the floor plans of the restaurant. Okay. When the incident took place, the victim was sitting right here. The poisoned coffee was brought over to him by the waitress. The waitress being the accused. Yeah. And the victim died from poisoning almost immediately after he took a sip of coffee. At the time of the incident, there were 2 other people in the restaurant. Mr. Jean Armstrong, the owner and chef, and a regular by the name of Mr. Victor Kudo. Okay, but where were they in the... Because if that was a booth, you wouldn't see the other guy from the kitchen. So it still seems to be a very straightforward case to me. Okay, floor plans added. Cool. So let's get some testimony in then, I guess. Come, detective, take up this hammer and nail the defendant's coffin shut with your own 2 hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, let's have your testimony. Yes, sir. Okay, the incident. When the incident took place, the victim was alone at his table, sir. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at that time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup, and what we found was potassium cyanide. That stuff really packs a punch. And, it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Using the dark, aromatic depths of coffee to conceal the poison. Classy lady. Interesting. The facts of this case seem to be ironclad. Mr. Wright, I would ask you to begin your cross-examination, but... Yes? Please, no intimidation tricks this time around, is that understood? I already told you that wasn't me. Okay. When the incident took place, but that's not all it. Can I stop you for just a minute? What is it? Did I say something that contradicts the evidence? Maybe. I mean, maybe you did. You might have done. Just need to check. Okay. He's so desperate for that to be true, he's practically crying. Your testimony just now doesn't match the testimony given by Miss Bird. She claims that there was another man at the victim's table. Yeah, that's what she said. And What killer wouldn't say that when faced with a homicide conviction? Hey. Sadly, her testimony isn't supported by the owner or the other customer. Isn't that right, Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, it's true. Their 2 testimonies tie up on that. They both said there was no other guy at the table. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Let's keep going, because why not? Well, maybe the other witnesses just missed him. Perhaps their view of the victim's table was obscured in some way. That argument is as weak as the coffee at Turnabout. I have here in my possession a ticket. A ticket? It looks like a photo to me. Yes, a one-way ticket to Guiltyville. Population, the defendant. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay. So this is a photograph taken from near the entrance to the kitchen. This is the scene as witnessed by the chef moments after the poisoning took place, correct? I think the court will agree that with such a clear view of the scene of the crime... How, Mr. Wright, could anyone have overlooked a second person at that table? It certainly seems to show the victim's table extremely clearly. Okay. We understand that the guy, Glenn Elg, was listening to the radio at the time. Traces of poison were found in his coffee cup. Okay. Let's just start pressing a few things. So, traces of the poison were found in the coffee cup and nowhere else? Not sure I get you, pal. Was the poison a liquid? Or was it a powder? If I had to put it into layman's terms, I'd say it was a powdery substance. So the poison could have been in anything that was on that table. Sugar, salt, pepper.
Objection!
Huh. And do you put salt and pepper in your coffee, Trite? The victim took his coffee black, with no sugar. It seems that the poison could only have been in the coffee. What should I do? Should I press this point harder? Let's keep going. Are you absolutely certain that the victim even drank any of his coffee? Huh? What do you mean? According to this file, the poison was found in the victim's coffee cup. But what proof is there that the victim ever drank any of it? Oh, hey, you're right. That's what I was thinking. In case you were wondering, that last objection was for the detective there. Huh? For me? Oh, hey, you're right. You may be fooling the court, but I'm not falling for it. If you have the time to waste, you have the time to present that piece of evidence. That piece, sir. Yes, that piece. What piece was it again? Oh dear. Should I be grateful this coffee's only hot enough to give me first-degree burns? Oh, now I remember. This is the, victim's coffee cup. Yes, the victim's coffee cup. Take a good look at the rim. Oh yes, it's unmistakable. There is clearly a coffee stain on it. Conclusive proof that the victim did drink the poisoned coffee that was in this cup. The victim gulped down the bitter that the waitress brought to him like this. Nice. For the record, the only prints on the cup were the victim's and the defendant's. Joe. On further investigation of this cup, we found a certain chemical substance. And what we found was potassium cyanide. That really packs a punch. And it looks like Miss Bird might have had, well, some kind of motive. Okay, what motive? Let's ask about this. Some kind of motive? Yeah, but if you ask me, it's been blown way out of proportion.
Objection!
You know what my golden rule is, detective. Chuck out a bad cup of coffee. You can always get another. Huh? don't get it. And see, we can always get another witness on the stand if we have to chuck you out. Oh. So stick to the facts, detective. Now then, what was Miss Bird's motive? Come on, Gumshoe. They said she wanted to steal a lottery ticket. I knew it. That's what we heard yesterday too. It disappeared from the scene of the crime. And it wasn't just any lottery ticket. It was a winning ticket for $500,000. Mr. Armstrong knew about the ticket too, didn't he? But he stole the wrong one. Then, is it possible Maggie stole the winning one? I mean, it's possible. What should I do? Should I press on this point a little harder or not? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Wait a minute. The mere fact that the lottery ticket disappeared in no way implicates my client. Ha. I have here in my hand the very ticket in question. That's the $500,000 lottery ticket. One of the female police officers Oh, God. I'm tongue-tied again, you. One of the female police officers found it when she was conducting a search of the defendant. Oh, great. That's helpful. What? Why does nobody tell me this until we're in court? Order, order. She's quite a lucky bird, our little waitress. You will submit that ticket as evidence to the court immediately. I'd better keep an eye on that ticket, the way the judge's voice is quivering. Okay, okie dokie. This ticket was presented to the court in the previous trial too, but it feels heavier now somehow. $500,000, he's saying. Okay. Sure. It's just a scrap of paper. What matters is where it was found, Your Honour. And that's on Maggie's person, unfortunately. That's enough. The facts of this case seem overwhelmingly clear to me. The defendant had ample opportunity to commit the crime of which she is charged. Furthermore, it seems beyond reasonable doubt that she did indeed commit this crime. I like an old man who knows the score. There is also the matter of the $500,000 lottery ticket. That alone provides a very credible motive. I mean, for that sum of money, even I might be tempted to bend the rules. I don't mind an old man who is weak to the siren call of money. Not good, Nick. The evidence against Maggie is starting to pile up fast. Yeah, that's because the court has ruled guilty once already. I'd say it's about time to wrap up this repeat performance. Easy. With one final decisive piece of evidence. He's got more evidence against Maggie. This is the apron the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Wow. That's not the cleanest apron I've seen. That stain looks like... can't be blood, can it? Why would it be blood? He was poisoned. It seems the star of our play was a little flustered. And somehow spilled coffee on herself. The coffee? That's not exactly the first thing that caught my eye. Of course, the coffee stain isn't the most interesting thing about this apron. No, there's something else that stands out even more. Something else? I presume you mean... Of course, I'm referring to the pocket. The pocket? A search carried out right after the incident uncovered this. Potassium cyanide. The very poison used by the killer was in her apron pocket. A bottle of poison in Maggie's pocket. Yeah, and Maggie's prints were the only ones on it. What? Order, order, order. The court will accept these items into evidence. Okay. So, now what do we do? There is something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-coloured stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. You don't need to be told. Just look at it. Well, detective, could this stain really be blood? No way, sir. It's just ketchup, sir. Ketchup. She must have gotten some on her apron while taking someone their breakfast that day. Okay. You could have spoken up a little sooner, Detective Gumshoe. Pull a stunt like that again and I'll have you drink 17 cups of ketchup, witness. I thought everyone knew what it was already. I haven't seen anything yet to make me doubt the last ruling I made on this case. The motive, the opportunity, and the supporting evidence, they have all been clearly established. Okay. Well tried. It seems you really are a phony after all. You really know how to drive a man nuts. Witness, please continue with your testimony. Describe for the court the crime scene and the findings of your investigation there. The investigation. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by kind of a scary old man, sir. Poor Maggie had passed out from the shock. It must have been real tough for her. The victim didn't have any identification on him, but we figured out who he was pretty quick, and then the investigation went smoothly. How did you figure out how? When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison. And that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. Okay. You identified the victim and secured your prime suspect. Very good. Last chance to convince the court you're a real lawyer, try it. Don't count on any more cross-examinations after this one. So let the fun begin. Okay. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by kind of a scary old man. I want to know about how did he do this? Wait a sec. Huh? Did I say something dumb again? Let me paraphrase what you just testified to this court. The victim didn't have any form of ID on him. That's basically what you said, yes? Yeah, basically. In that case, how were you able to identify the victim so quickly? Oh, that. Yes, that. He's so let down, he's got the whole sagging shoulders and puppy eyes thing going. There was a prescription bag on the victim's table, along with the lottery ticket. It seems Mr. Glenn Elg visited his doctor before he went to Trebian. We got the victim's name from the medical records of the doctor who prescribed the meds. That's a reliable enough source for the court. What should I do? Should I leave this alone or ask to hear more? What was in it, though? So what sort of medicine was in the bag? Well, actually, the bag we found was empty. Well, that's surely not right. Huh? Yeah, completely empty. It was completely empty. So the only form of identification is an empty prescription bag. Huh. You're entering an empty paper bag as evidence. Desperate, are you, Trite? Interesting. Now, what happened with the investigation after that, detective? Okay. When Maggie was searched, we found the lottery ticket and the bottle of poison, and that was it. There was nothing else missing from the crime scene. What about what was meant to be in the bag? Okay, this is not true. I'm not having it. Objection, Detective Gumshoe. I think I should point something out to you. There is just one small contradiction in your testimony. Oh, finally. I'm getting all anxious just waiting, so hurry up, will you? You testified that nothing else was missing from the crime scene. However, the prescription bag you mentioned was empty. Did the officers recover the medicine from the scene of the crime later? No, they didn't. The victim was given a prescription right before going to Trebian. Where, then, did the medicine disappear to? You are too cool, pal. Indeed. Due consideration wasn't given to the victim's prescription in the previous trial. Witness, why do you always overlook such vital pieces of evidence? I guess that's the most careless thing I've done so far, huh? The victim was killed by poison, and the victim's medicine mysteriously disappeared. The victim's own prescription could have been the lethal poison itself. Order, order. Well, Mr. Godot, what do you have to say to that? Huh, that's all. What? Read for the court the name of the clinic on the prescription bag, if you will. What's the clinic's name got to do with anything? New Ear Laryngological. What? Just what kind of illness was this victim suffering from, Mr. Godot? Hardly an illness, Your Honour. More like a bitter war wound, you could say. A war wound? The day before the incident, Mr. Elk found himself in a fight. Took a blow to the side of the head and ruptured his eardrum. He ruptured his eardrum. Then what on earth was the prescription he was given? It was a cream that was to be applied topically inside his ear canal, not to be ingested. What? It's mentioned in the autopsy report if you read the fine print. They found traces of the medication in the victim's left ear. Yes, here it is, in very, very fine print. It seems Mr. Elk correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trebian. Therefore, it would be absurd to believe that he would have eaten his medication. Okay, but then it seems that this medication is irrelevant to the case after all. No, Nick, if you don't think of something quick, it'll all be over. She's right. But I can't get away with any old weak objection. What should I do? Push the medication issue. I mean, we're not going to leave it. Only moments ago, Mr. Godot made the following statement. It seems Mr. Elk correctly applied some of his medication while he was at Trebian. If that's the case, then why was the medication not found at the scene of the crime? But the medication in question was for topical use inside the ear canal. It doesn't change the fact that it could not be found at the crime scene. However insignificant it may seem, it's a lawyer's duty to pursue the truth.
Objection!
For Greek otolaryngology. It's such a hard word to say. There's absolutely no way I could have ever figured that out. You know as well as I do that the medication is irrelevant. It hardly seems likely that a prescription drug would contain potassium cyanide. Maybe, but also mind. It hardly seems likely that the coffee the waitress served would contain it either. But it did. The possibility is undeniable. That's enough. Mr. Godot, is the detective the only witness the prosecution wishes to call? Mr. Godot? I've got my own witness I'd like to call, sir. Oh? It's the old man who was there in the restaurant on the day of the murder. Victor Godot, the pigeon hater. Very well. The matter of the disappearing medication seems a little more than trivial at best. However, it wasn't explored at all in the previous trial, and that is something that bothers me. Yay, good job, Nick. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. The court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess, after which we will hear the prosecution's next witness. Ha. I suppose this means I'll just have to finish you off in my last 6 cups. He's already at 11. Court is adjourned for recess. Okay. So we've got a recess. Phew. That was close. Yeah, tell me about it. Nearly died in there. That's my line, sir. No, it's my line. I think I really did die a little bit. Just a little bit. Looks like we all nearly died in there. I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. How could he betray us like that? Huh? He said he'd help me. But he totally set me up. Don't think he meant to do that, Maggie. He was backed into a corner. I mean, the guy's got to do his job, right? It's okay. I know all about lies and betrayal. I've had them my whole life. But it really hurt this time. It felt like someone punched me hard in the stomach. I hate that guy. I don't ever want to see him again. Oh, poor Gumshoe. So the next witness is going to be the old guy from the park, right? Yeah, Mr. Kudo, a lover of waitress outfits and projectile scenes. Bet he's going to be really stubborn. I mean, he's pretty set in his ways, you know? I mean, yeah, he's a big old grouch. Are you going to be able to handle him, Nick? Yeah, I could take whatever he throws at me, even those never-ending bird seeds. Okay, so into court we go then. Let's do this. What have we got? Court will now reconvene for the trial of Maggie Bird. Mr. Godot, your next witness, please. The prosecution calls the lucky old-timer who caught the show over a cup of coffee. Will the witness please take the stand? Okay. Hello, Victor. Name and occupation, if you don't mind. The name is Victor Kudo, born and bred in the land of the rising sun. Honour and duty are what make me, mind you. I can be quite emotional at times too. We don't need to hear about that, Mr. Kudo. Just tell the court your occupation. My occupation? Listen, young'un. How much call do you think there is for kimono embroidery here? I mean, there's probably a market for it, dude. Have you tried? Kimono embroidery? That's what I do, or did, back in Japan. I embroidered family crests on kimonos. My ancestors were embroidering kimonos before this country even existed. Wow, real craftsmen. They're a dying breed. Hey, maybe you could embroider my costume sometime. Anyway, like I said, there's not much demand for that kind of thing here. So I had to take a job working at the cash register at a burger joint, pretending to smile. That burger joint would have been better off putting him in the kitchen. Now then, witness, were you in the restaurant at the time of the incident? Oh, yes. I was eating some seeds over a cup of Javachino. Seeds? What do you think these are? I see. So you saw everything that happened, Gramps? Did I? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I did. I saw it all. Then please tell the court. We're all ears. Sure. I'll tell you. I'll tell you every last detail. He's really getting into this. Okay. what we witnessed. What did you witness exactly? The young man was reading the sports paper. The serving girl bought him a Javicino, but she put something in it. That doesn't look like Maggie's hair. The man took one sip of it, looked like he was in terrible pain, and then collapsed. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. You never even looked at her face, did you? Mr. Kudo, she is not a serving girl. Please refer to her as a waitress. You're as bad as the rest of them. All these newfangled words. What's wrong with old-fashioned ones? Newfangled? All this talk of radios and glasses, it's wireless and spectacles, I tell you. Excuse me? Listen to me, everyone. Don't forget the old values. Don't let the good old days slip away. Well, I think it's time to begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Okay. Yes, Your Honor. Okay. So, he doesn't... What can we... The serving girl. He only looks at the outfits. We know this. You said, I remember her well, in reference to the waitress. Did she have any particular features that you can identify her by? Particular features? It's a disgrace, that's what it is. Sorry? You can see all the way up to her, you know, she's practically naked in that uniform. So the particular feature you recognise about the waitress is her outfit. Anyone could wear such a uniform, even me. Mr. Wright, please spare the court of any further mental anguish from that image. Don't get all excited, Nick. You've got to keep yourself together. Okay, I've just got to go and feed the dog. He's just decided to get up. He's just decided he's hungry. I will be back shortly. 1 second. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. For 5 minutes while he eats his dinner, and then we might have to let him out. Okay. So don't get excited, Nick. You got to keep yourself together. I guess I got a bit carried away. Yeah. There are other things I recognise about her too. He seems pretty sure of himself. What should I do? We'll keep pressing, because you know. Sure, you saw the waitress take the coffee over to the victim. But what matters is whether that waitress was Maggie Bird or not. Quite right, Mr. Kudo. These other features that you recognise about the defendant, I would ask you to add them to your testimony. Sure. There was a ribbon in her hair, and her apron's straps were loose. Okay. Her apron's straps were loose. You do seem to remember several details about her appearance. But what about the most crucial detail of all? Her face. As if I wouldn't remember that.
Objection.
The witness noticed the straps on the accused's apron. He's unlikely to make a mistake about her face. That's right. I can even tell you the colour of her ribbon in her hair. It was red. So you see, there's nothing wrong with the witness's eyesight. Okay, dog is finished. So let me just go. I won't turn this off. I'm just gonna go and let the dog out. That was his sneeze, by the way. 1 second. Hello, sorry. Dog dramas. He's a little pest. I don't know where he's going now. He's up to something. He's up to something. Okay. So let's... What were we doing? The apron. There's no note who remembers the waitress pretty well. What should I do? I get the feeling there's something more to this somehow. He's only seen her from the back, hasn't he? The identifying features you described are all things you would see from the back. So what? Is it possible that you never saw the waitress from the front at all?
Objection!
He's got you there, Gramps. People normally talk about the facial features when they're asked to describe someone. Oh. Put the dog's blankie on. It's cold. Here you go, puppy. Here you go. Okay. Yeah, it's true. People do normally talk about the face. But this witness testimony is nothing but straps and ribbons. This is harassment. I tell you, I'm not obsessed with straps or ribbons. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Kudo, the court requests that you add any details about any identifying features. Features you observed from the front, that is, to your testimony. Sure. This old man's testimony is getting longer and longer. And if I can't find a hole in it soon, I'll get even longer. It'll get even longer, I bet. Okay. There wasn't anything that caught my interest about her from when I saw her from the front. Well, not the fact that her apron was filth.
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, I would like you to please take a look at this. A filthy thing would suit filth like you just perfectly. Actually, reminds me of what my grandson looks like after he's done eating. Have you ever seen this before? Of course I haven't. Do you think I'd forget something as dirty as that? Well, you half-witted clot. What? What is it? Ever since I said you half-witted clot, there's been an eerie silence in here. Mr. Kudo, this apron is the apron worn by the defendant on the day of the poisoning. And as you just said yourself, you wouldn't forget something like this. Which means if you had really seen this apron before... Yes, you know what I'm getting at. You couldn't have possibly seen the waitress from the front. Oops. Witness, you can't just oops your way out of this. Well. Looks like we finally have a genuine trial on our hands. Listen, Wright. Here are the facts. On the day of the incident, there was only one waitress in the restaurant. That being the defendant, Miss Maggie Bird. Exactly. And when that one waitress put the poison into the coffee cup, this old guy was watching. I hope you understand the gravity of the situation, Mr. Kudo. The fate of the defendant may rest on what you say you remember seeing. Just tell the court exactly what you saw, Gramps. You can rely on me, Captain. My noggin's in perfect working order. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted. I can't remember. Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out. Very well. Let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remember about the victim. Okay. He was another of those pesky young types, wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well. Then the serving girl in question brought over the Giavicino. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. His free hand? Okay. The testimony we have heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we going to handle this, Nick? You only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel? Suppose. But it's what I do best. Okay, about the victim. He was another of those... Okay, so I want to ask about what he's got in his other hand. His free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Weren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was rustling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If his free hand wasn't his right hand, then which hand was it? Okay, ow, ow, ow. Huh. Perhaps the great Mr. Wright has 3 hands. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the right thing to prove. I was only asking. No need to gang up on me and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss. I guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh? Anything will do. Even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake. And he's ass. Okay, so I want to go back to that. His free hand. Let's look at the cup. If his free hand was his left hand, would the lip stain be on the other side of the cup?
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory? I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you, nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. What is this, kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the ring you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lips. Yes, there is a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where that stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you'd eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Ah. Okay. Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Wait. If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony? That young brat was holding the cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm a good, law-abiding citizen. I am. It's that dead young hotbot and you spiky-haired yahoo. You are at fault. Me? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 86 years, I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've got to say. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but... Sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Goddo. But this is my 16th cup of coffee. So this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. Okay, left hand or right hand? Okay. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup, too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. We know that the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honour. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called a HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HD, TV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. I know what I saw and I'm telling the truth. It's true, he doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts. Good old black and white. Okay, so what do we have? What do we have? Got that from the doctor. Which was his bad ear? Let's ask about the prescription.
Objection!
I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You say he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD? No question. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see that side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Eh? Traces of medication for his condition were found in his ear canal. That's right. It's impossible that the victim was wearing his earpiece in his left ear, because he couldn't even hear in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. But pigeon? Pretty pigeon. Order, order, order. This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind, and he claims the victim was wearing an earpiece when we know his eardrum was ruptured. Well, Mr. Goddo, a single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down. I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javachino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup, held in his right hand, and then switched it to his left. That is what the old man saw.
Objection!
Impossible. The witness has already testified on numerous occasions that the victim died immediately after taking just one sip of coffee.
Objection!
Which hand the victim used to pick up his cup is irrelevant, Your Honour. The facts still stand. With one hand or the other, Mr. Elg drank the poisoned coffee. Like this.
Objection!
Sadly, Mr. Goddo, that doesn't wash. The point of this testimony was to establish whether the witness's memory is credible. And the results are clear. The testimony given by this witness is useless. I believe it is time to conclude today's proceedings. I'm satisfied that the witness is not deceiving the court, but to be frank, his testimony is a farce. Did you have to be so frank? Take that, you pompous old fogey. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo. You can't reach me from there. I'm ordering the defence and the prosecution to investigate this case further. That is all for now. This court is adjourned. Now what? Wait. If we stop now, where does that leave me? Leave you, Mr. Kudo. Thanks to that blue-suited young upstart over there, I'm just a bumbling old man who can't even dot his T's or cross his I's now. How is your bad memory my fault? I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but there's nothing I can do. I've kept my mouth shut until now, but there's something else the court should know. What? There's more. To be perfectly honest, it might not be anything, but I want another chance. I want another crack at you, you young shark. Me? He's looking at me like I'm some sort of evil shogun. Well, everyone, what do you say to one final showdown? The final chapter in this eccentric old man's scrapbook. Sorry, Gramps. I've already had my 17th cup of coffee. What have you got to lose, Captain? I'll give you all the Javachino you want if you come to my house after the trial. I may be 68 years old, but Victor Kudo is still a man. That's enough, witness. I believe it will be quicker for the court just to hear your testimony. You bet. Much, much quicker. I can't believe this is happening. Ha, you better get ready, youngster. I get the picture. Just quit throwing those seeds at me, would you? He's got to be using some sort of infinite ammo code with that box of seeds. Okay. Final showdown. First of all, I want to stress that this might be nothing. I'm not too sure of myself. The young boy slumped over the table as soon as he took one sip of his Javachino. Well, the clumsy idiot upset the vase. He knocked it right over. It broke, and the strip of cloth covering the table got completely soaked. Well, how about that? Turned things upside down, Is that all? Yes, that's all. I remember it perfectly. You're doubting me again? You're doubting a poor, defenseless old man? No, we're not doubting you, Mr. Kudo. Don't you get the feeling there's a question hanging on everyone's lips, Nick? Yeah. So what, probably. That's all I can think of, and I have to cross-examine this guy. You're a bird brain. That's why that's all you can think of. Very well, Mr. Wright, your final cross-examination, please. Okay, the final showdown. First of all, okay, so the vase. Do we have a picture of the crime scene? Photo of the crime scene taken from near the kitchen. Okay. Well, the vase is still upright there, so how about we present that?
Objection!
Mr. Kudo, this is a photograph of the crime scene. So what? Look carefully at the table. The vase is there, intact. Huh? Lost your tongue, Grandad? I'm no granddad of yours, hopscotch. Ow, 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 ow. Enough. If you throw any more seeds in this courtroom, the cleaners will be here all night. What is it now? I just remembered something. Yes, go on. The broken vase. It was on my table. What? Ah, well, you see, it startled me when that young lad collapsed. So I stood up. That must have been when it fell over. The vase on my table, I mean. The vase on your table. Yes, it was on my table. And that's how my groin came to be completely soaked. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. I'd like to ask a question now. Have I been any use at all? Perhaps that's something you should reflect on yourself, Mr. Kudo. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh yes, I remember something else. Bailiff, escort the witness out of the courtroom. Wait, listen to me. Oh dear. Poor guy. Well, we seem to have been considerably sidetracked, and I'm still not in a position to deliver a verdict. The defendant has not been positively identified as the waitress in question. Additionally, there are two disparities in the testimony we have heard thus far. The mark on the coffee cup that the victim supposedly drank from with his left hand, and the earpiece which was inserted into his left ear, out of which he couldn't hear. Wow, Nick, you did it. I therefore require both the defence and the prosecution to further investigate the facts. Okay? Yes, Your Honour. There is one more thing before I call today's session to an end. One more thing, Your Honour. The witness we just heard from. He is most insistent that his testimony should be of use. So he summarised it accordingly into this statement. Okay. You may each have a copy of it if you wish. Whatever. The prosecution doesn't need props like that. God, I was really mad, huh? Yeah, I would be too. Very well. Here you are then, Mr. Wright. There are 3 copies, my own, yours, and Mr. Goddo's. Yes, Your Honour. I'm sorry. This isn't a piece of testimony. Not like a 5-year-old's apology. What the heck are we supposed to do with 3 copies? That is all. This court is adjourned. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. So I'm going to head off because my sister's back. So I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye.